Welcome to Podcast Marketing Secrets, the place for entrepreneurs, coaches, and CEOs who are looking to grow their business with the podcast, become a key person of influence in their industry, and get their ideal clients to come to them, also known as attraction marketing. I'm your host, Al Morenton. My guest today is Nicky Billou. Nicky is an expert at helping entrepreneurs scale their businesses by 7 to 9 figures, helping experts become branded thought leaders and scaling their practices to 500,000 to 2 million, and helping CEOs become authors and podcast hosts. Nicky is an international best-selling author of 10 published books, 2 of them New York Times bestsellers, and the host of 2 podcasts, the Thought Leader Revolution podcast and the Sovereign Man podcast. He's recorded over 650 episodes between his 2 shows, which is a huge accomplishment. He's helped 11 men and women add 7 to 9 figures to their businesses, and 80 plus men and women add 100,000 to 500,000 to their businesses. He loves helping entrepreneurs win big, loves making people lots and lots of money, and loves helping people make the difference they were born to make. Welcome to the show, Nicky.
Al, it's an honor to be here. Thanks for having me on the show, brother.
Awesome. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your backstory and what led you up to where you are now?
Thanks for the question. So I'm actually originally an immigrant from the Middle East. I'm a Christian from Iran. When I was 11 years old, the Islamic Revolution took place in Iran. And my late father, God rest his soul, he could see the writing on the wall. This was not going to be a place to raise a Christian family. So he made a plan along with my mother, and he got us out of Iran and settled us eventually where I now live in Toronto, Canada. Now, at the time I was 11, man, I didn't want to leave my home. I didn't want to leave my friends. But looking back, it was the single greatest thing my father could have done for me and for us. He took us from a legacy of tyranny to a legacy of freedom. Freedom. Inside every human breast beats the living heart of freedom. Every human being has been given the gift of freedom by God Almighty. We don't want to be told what to do. We don't want to be told how to do it. And I got to tell you, I, for one, as an immigrant coming from tyranny, so appreciate freedom. And I've become the biggest champion for freedom there is. And I think every entrepreneur needs to be a champion for freedom. You've got to be a philosopher as well as a businessman. You can't just be going, I want to make money. I don't want to be bothered with that stuff. You have to be bothered with that stuff. Otherwise, the enemies of freedom, the socialists, they're going to come take it away from you and you won't be able to do business anymore.
That's right.
And that's a fact. That's a fact. Every one of us has got to stand up for freedom. Now, my father was a champion for freedom, and he was the greatest man you'd ever know. This is a man, if he knew you, Alan, you were looking for work, he'd sit you down in his office. He'd work the phones till he got you a job. He'd browbeat people and say, you're hiring my buddy Al. I don't want to hear nothing more about it. And he'd say, hey, Al, I got you a job. You're director of sales, blah, blah, blah. And he'd get you going, things like that. That's what he was like. If you were trying to start a business, he'd sit you down and help you get that business going. He'd get you access to ideas, capital, clients even. And if you knew him and you were trying to buy a car or a home and the bank wouldn't give you quite enough to get that car or home you were looking to get, he would top you up with a loan that you'd never, ever have to pay back because he wouldn't let you. And people go to me, go, Nicky, hold up, man. No. That just sounds like a fairy tale, man. Who does that? I go, well, the late, great Napoleon Billou, for one. Why would he do that, Nicky? Well, one, he was a devout Christian. He believed he'd been blessed by God Almighty, and it was his duty to share those blessings with other people. But secondly, he did it because he was rich. He had money. He had the green stuff. And that made me want to be like Dad. I wanted to be somebody that could help people, that could make a difference for people. To this day, people come to me and go, Nicky, I knew your dad. He did X for me. He did Y for me. And I wanted to be that guy. And so I got into business eventually. And I got into the business of helping other entrepreneurs. Because there's a lot of good men and women out that get into business, man. They're good people. They got good hearts. But they're scared of business. They're scared to sell. They're scared to market. They don't want to be seen as pushy or salesy or reeking of commission breath. They want people to like them. And unfortunately, this means they would give up on sales they would otherwise get. And some charlatan marketer would come and swoop in and scoop up that business. Everybody loses then. Because that client could have had you, but instead they get a charlatan who doesn't care whether they deliver or not. You know, you could have gotten money for that business, but you don't get it because the charlatan got it. And even the charlatan loses because what goes around comes around. That's a fact. And so what I've done is I've helped people reframe sales to service. Nobody wants to be sold. You don't want to be sold out. I don't want to be sold. But don't you love being served by a caring human being, an advocate who believes in you, who loves on you? Because I believe every human being needs two things to be successful. One, they need someone to believe in them. And two, they need a way so they can share persuasively their vision with other people. You need someone to believe in you. On the days your belief in yourself is low, that person will help you ignite the fire of belief and make it roar in flame. And you need a way to persuade other people in your vision, in what you are up to do in the world. That's what I do for people. I have a lot of skills. I'm the man with thought leadership. I'm the man with showing people how to create positioning. I'm the man with helping people create intellectual property. I'm the man with teaching you how to enroll people ethically from the heart. But my biggest superpower, Nicky Billou, is known for loving on people, believing in people, helping them get over whatever doubt they have, killing that doubt so that fire of belief bursts into flame, and then showing them and holding their hand enough so that they start to win, because we all need that. That's what I need. That's what you need. That's what every man and woman needs.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I love your energy too, you know, and you having that father to look up to, that's awesome. But also, you know, a lot of kids that come from parents that like that, they sometimes go the opposite direction. So you actually want them to be like it and working to do that and give back and all these kinds of things. That's very commendable, you know. So and thank you for doing that for the world, you know, because I know you're helping a lot of people out there. That's awesome. So you mentioned like you know what. Like freedom and free enterprise, and so why does that matter? Basically, the free enterprise and having freedom with that.
So, like we were saying before, without freedom, we got nothing. You, as an entrepreneur, cannot, without freedom, have free enterprise. Without free enterprise, you can't have a business. Free enterprise is the bedrock of voluntary exchange of goods and services. That's what we want, the ability to be able to voluntarily exchange goods and services. What we don't want is we don't want some socialist, some scumbag come in here taking our freedoms away, saying lies about the good hearts of entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs are good people, socialists are evil people. Let's be honest. Every socialist is an evil person because what they want to do is tell you what to do and how to do it. Stand up for entrepreneurs, freedom and entrepreneurship, and look down upon and do not give 1 inch. The great Javier Milei, who was just elected as a libertarian, the first president of Argentina as a libertarian, says, do not give 1 inch to those socialist shits. And I agree with him. Don't give 1 inch to those socialist shits. Stand up for freedom. Call them out for who they are. They try to attack you because they know good people get scared when you call them the R word, a racist, or you call them, you know, the S word, a sexist. Don't put up with that. That's not true. That's not who you are. Say, hey, man, you are saying those things because you're the real racist. You're the real sexist. You're the real little shit. We're not giving you 1 inch. We're keeping our freedoms. You can go to hell. That's what I have to say, my brother.
That's awesome. Thank you for clearing that up too. That's beautiful. So, like with the charlatan marketers that you had mentioned, like I know for myself, you know, because I'm an introvert and I'm shy and stuff like that, but I run business forever, you know, and oftentimes, especially when I was younger, I would lose business to people that didn't really know how to help somebody, you know, when I did, you know, and I was like that best kept secret. So is there a way for consumers to like recognize charlatan marketers so they could avoid them?
Well, you gotta like first of all think about this, okay? The way for you to like do your due diligence is see, hey, is this somebody that a lot of people I know have done business with? And if they have, what do they have to say about this fellow? Is he a good dude? Does he try to help you out, or is he full of crap? So you got to look into that. Secondly, you got to listen to your own gut. Your gut is usually pretty good at telling you, is this guy honest or is he full of crap? If you're listening to it, your gut's really good at that. But I got to be honest with you. I've been taken in by charlatans in the past before. I've given money to people I shouldn't have given a penny to. I'm sure you have too. I learned from everybody, but at the end of the day, the way that you learn is through making mistakes. You're never going to get over it, man. You are going to sometimes get ripped off. That's just the way it is. That's humanity. But man, learn from your mistakes. Learn to look for the warning signs. You know, I can tell you all I want, but you'd be like the hot girl who falls in love with the bad boy. And then she goes and the bad boy gets her pregnant. And she goes, oh my God, my life is over because this guy's sleeping with every guy, every other gal around the block. He's not loyal to me. You need to understand what are the signs of the bad boy, charlatan marketer, and what are the signs of the good, reliable man. Because you want to be with the good, reliable man and not with the charlatan marketer. That's just how it is. That's how it should be. That's what it's all about. I'll tell you something. I had a client. I'll tell you a story. She was a great lady. She came to us because she had been with a lot of charlatan marketers, right? She'd spent over $125,000 in her business and gotten zero, and I mean zero results, not $1 return. She came to us and she told us the story, and I knew exactly what was wrong. She was giving money to the wrong people. She was doing the wrong things. They were telling her to do all these crazy things that didn't work anymore in marketing, launches and things like that. I'm going, that's not going to work. She says, what is going to work? I said, here's what's going to work. You sharing your heart, your soul, getting in front of people directly, being in front of a human being who could possibly need your help. Call them, meet them. This was in the days before the lockdowns and the scamdemic, right? And so she listened, and she went from making under $2,000 a month to making over $20,000 a month in under 3 months listening to us, because she stopped being with charlatans and she started being around people who cared about her, who loved on her, who believed in her, gave her everything she needed. And that, my friend, is what it's at, where it's at, what it's all about, you know? And this lady from $2,000 a month to over $20,000 a month, that's pretty darn great, just from being around good people who cared about her and who didn't try to sell her whatever the latest, greatest thing is. I ain't into the latest, greatest thing. Now, I got things I know that work better now than, you know, things that used to work in the past, 100%. But that's not what's important. What's important is that you love on people, you believe in people, you show them that they're great. And if they're great, whatever method they use will get some level of result. Now, there's methods that work better than others. But most important is that you be out there and you show people your heart, because people want to do business with authentic, honest, heart-driven people. And as long as you're showing your heart and not shying away from showing your heart, enough of the right people will see it, will feel it, and will want to do business with you.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, on the business side, tons of businesses get destroyed by charlatan marketers. It's unfortunate. Like businesses that could actually do good, but they don't understand and they get taken. I've been taken, several times, like by people that had these promises and even had testimonials, but you put all this thousands of dollars every month or whatever, and like you said, no results, like over 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and they were like, oh, it's almost, we're almost there or whatever, so that's a big deal. And that makes people hesitant to talk about marketing and or even seek to go down that route. So like a person like yourselves that could actually help people, it's probably a little bit difficult to get past that. How do you get past that?
You know what, brother? You got to just understand, you're not going to get past it for everybody, and that's okay. I'm not trying to make everybody love me or like me. That's not my deal.
Mm-hmm.
I show my heart, and the right people are going to resonate with it. And those are the people who are going to go, yeah, we should talk. And I'm good with that, man. I'm totally good with that. And that's what I teach people. I'll tell you a story of another client of mine. This was a young woman. She was a doctor of natural medicine. Okay. Dr. V, we called her. Dr. V, man. So Dr. V, she was successful. She came to us and she wanted to go from making 6 figures to 7 figures a year. Her father was her hero, and he was dying of glioblastoma, brain cancer. And within 6 months, he'd be dead. And she wanted to honor him by creating a successful business. And she came to us and she was like, oh my God, what do I do? How do I do it? And we said, okay, let's sit down. What is it that you do? She goes, well, I'm into health. I can help anybody with any health problem. That was a bad marketing message. So we said, no, we need to help you narrow down your ideal client from anybody to people you like working with, people that you've gotten good results for, and people that are easy to transact with. So people you like, people you've done good work for, people that pay you on time and full and no fuss, no muss. So when we had all three of those circles intersect, it was a very particular group of people for her, and that was professional women over the age of 45. And brother, here's what happened. Here's what we did with this incredible woman is we helped her figure out that was women over the age of 45 who were married with kids, successful careers, successful marriages, great kids. So you're going, well, that sounds like everything, right? What possibly could be wrong? Well, they were over 45, and most of these women felt that they were no longer beautiful or sexy, and they hated it. They thought that they were too old, and they hated it because women love to feel beautiful and sexy and desirable and cherished. All women do. And so Dr. V would say, hey, look, getting older is inevitable, but aging isn't. I can have you looking, feeling better, hotter, more sexy, more desirable, better about yourself at 50 than you did at 30. So we helped her come up with a program named Get Your Sexy Back. And she launched Get Your Sexy Back. For 3 years running, every year, she doubled her business. Doubled. She went from 6 figures a year to 6 figures a month, bro. That's the power of loving on people, being clear on who you help and why you help them and how you can help them. That's the power.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. And so that shows the power of like niching down and sort of like developing a personal brand too, right? So
not sort of, actually developing a personal brand.
right on. Awesome. But yeah, it's so is that what you focus on a lot in what you do, is helping people to develop their personal brand and niche down and things like that?
I don't like calling it a personal brand because to me that is an overused term. But if that makes it easier for someone to understand it, sure. I call what we do thought leadership. It's about developing real expertise. Because to me, a personal brand might have no substance behind it. And I don't do that. I only work with people that have substance behind what they can offer to the world. Being an influencer, someone with a personal brand, doesn't mean you know anything worthwhile. And homie, don't play that game. I don't play with people who don't know anything worthwhile. I only work with you if you're actually good at what you do. You actually get real results for people. You actually know what you're talking about through a lifetime of experience. I mean, it's crazy. All these people that go on Instagram now and they go, oh, I'm a thought leader. Never give up. You're enough. I'm like, what? Is that supposed to actually be valuable? Really? Like, what is that? That's somebody saying cliches out into the world. Say, I'm now a thought leader. I have a personal brand. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? What value does that add to anybody except for you? That you got another eyeball because you were like the equivalent of an Instagram influencer shaking your booty or showing off his abs. No. That's not what we do, man. That's homie, don't play that game. We help you dig out the real expertise in you from a lifetime of living and working that you've developed. Stuff that is real and valuable and unique to you and that can actually help people solve a real problem. If you cannot solve a real problem, you don't get to work with Nicky Billou and his team. Sorry. Okay, go work with a charlatan marketer because that's all you're going to be. That's what personal branding is, a charlatan type of a word to me. Thought leader, thinker. Most people don't want to think, man. You know why they don't want to think? Because it's bloody hard work. It's the hardest work in the world. That's why so few people do it. So I've got this thing I'm creating called Billou's Rules. Okay, Billou's Rules. One of my rules is think for yourself. Don't outsource your thinking to other people. That's
awesome. Yeah, and it's and that has to do with like getting out of your comfort zone, all that kind of stuff too. It's incredible how many people that don't want to put thought and thinking into their workflow. It's amazing to me.
Truth.
Yep. So so I know you have this what's it called, eCircle?
Yes, sir.
So what is that exactly? Can you explain that to me?
eCircle is our company, and inside of it, we've created an academy, eCircle Academy. And what we do is we help people who are entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, founders of businesses and CEOs, people who have a valuable set of solutions to real problems in the marketplace. And what we help them do is we help them create for themselves, out of their expertise, real thought leadership that they can turn into a powerful message to help them attract their ideal clients and make a shit ton more money. Like, I want to see you, Al, for example. I don't know what you do. I don't know how you do it, but let's say you have a business. Let's say you make 100,000 a year. I want to see you make $500,000 a year, $1 million a year. And that's what we do inside of our business. Is we look for people who are good people, have a real level of expertise. We help them take that expertise in a very structured way, create IP with it, create a compelling message, go out to the people that need to hear that message, and use that to make themselves a ton of money.
That's awesome. Yeah. And like, I like to call that like the best kept secret kind of a thing, where these people could actually add a lot of value. Like, I've been included in that before, because with my wellness business and stuff, where you actually have crazy testimonials, crazy amounts of people that you've helped, but you're not able to get the word out as good as some other person.
Charlatan marketers.
Yeah. And because they do so much, and you're more, a lot of times, worried on your clientele or whatever, but your business doesn't grow because of that. There's all these ebbs and flows and ups and downs and no consistency. So do you work on that, like the mental aspect as well, of how to get that going? And I guess if they have stuff already made, they're getting a lot of results with, packaging it for, productizing it or whatever, so it's more marketable and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The number one thing that an entrepreneur needs is belief to be in themselves as the entrepreneur, and in what they do and how they help people. And sometimes, the world can be a little rough on us. You know what I mean? I'm sure you've experienced it yourself. When you've gotten 4 or 5 rejections in a row, that sometimes doesn't feel super good. And sometimes all a person needs is they need to be around a community, around people who will help them see their greatness. They're not people, when they say no to you, they're not saying no to you. They're saying no to themselves and no to their dream. They don't believe in themselves and their dream and what they want enough, and they just rejected it. And it's important to help you understand that. And to build a bulletproof mindset is super, super important. The stronger your mindset is, the better you're going to do in life and in business. And that's a big part of what we aim to do for people inside of the work that we do. But honestly, even outside of the work that I do, man, I got a podcast that's available to anybody for free. And I'm loving on people all podcast long. I'm giving them belief in themselves. I'm bringing them guests to show them that it's possible. And I do that free of charge, because I want good people, whether or not they can afford to work with me, to be able to win.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. So is there a way because what you mentioned is our audience, CEOs, coaches, entrepreneurs, business owners, stuff like that, so if somebody was like, hey, I've been working in my field, for 20 years, 25 years. I get these results, I love what I do, and this thought leaders thing sounds awesome. What's like a first steps, like the baby steps that they could take to start on that path?
Well, the first thing they should do is they should get on my calendar. So go to eCircleacademy.com/appointment and let me know they were listening to this show, and I'll give them 45 minutes of my time, absolutely free of charge. Let's have a conversation about you, your business. Let's have a conversation about where you're doubting yourself, where you need to get that belief sparking into a roaring fire. And then let's put out a blueprint for you to do that. And that call is free of charge. And once you've done that, there's a path that you can take. One way in the path is, hey, that was great information, bye-bye, and do nothing with it. And the other one is to actually do something with it. And we'll show you what are some things you can do with it and how we work with people, and we can go from there.
That's awesome. Yeah, because it's like what I mentioned in the intro, right, is the attraction marketing, and that's what thought leadership is all about. Is being able to attract your ideal client, have them come to you, which is the ideal way to do business. Because there's always like people that are struggling, to get by in a certain industry, and then there's those people up at the top where it seems like everybody just comes to them, and they're typically the thought leaders in that industry, right? So I can see how what you're offering is very super valuable, especially to the biz owners and CEOs, etc.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, awesome. So is there a way like to sell without coming off salesy?
Well, I think we talked about that earlier on in the podcast, right? Like the very first thing to do is just come a point of view of being of service. Don't even think about selling. Don't put the attention on you. You come across as salesy when you put the attention on you. I wonder if I can get the sale. I wonder if they're going to like me. Take all the attention off you. Put the attention on them. Who is this person? What kind of help do they need? My father used to say that man standing in front of you, that's someone's father, that's someone's brother, that's someone's son. It's a hero to somebody. Maybe even someone like you, a charlatan, let them down, rip them off. Your job is to restore their faith in humanity. Remember, he said to me, son, life is about people, not money, not numbers. Business is about people, not money, not numbers. I'm going, Dad, what are you talking about? Business is about money. You gotta exchange money to do business. He goes, son, that's true. But the main point is that you're there to help somebody solve a problem. Once you help someone solve a problem, right? A person and a problem, then you have the right to make a profit, not before. A man should not accept any money or any praise that he hasn't earned. That's from Benjamin Franklin, from Poor Richard's Almanac. And I think that's good advice. Don't accept money or praise that you haven't earned. And if you're all about helping people, then your focus should be on them. And if your focus is on them, the right people will do business with you. If your focus is on, I need this sale, man, why not? Are they going to buy or what? They're gonna feel that. They're not going to do business with you. They're not going to care to do business with you. They shouldn't do business with you. But if your focus is, how can I help you? Is what you need a good match for what I can do? And if that's the case, then shame on you if you don't try to help this person. And if it's not the case, then shame on you if you try to force it. Before you and I spoke, I had a call with a potential customer. And he's a good fellow. I like him. We had a talk, and he could use my help, but he's not ready for it. And so I told him, look, you're not ready for this. I didn't even get into what we offer or what it costs or anything like that. I just told him, you need to make a decision that this is what you want to do. And if you don't make that decision, we shouldn't work together. But if you do make that decision, we should. And the ball, as they say, is in his court. He has some thinking to do. But I wasn't going to try to force him. I go, okay, you know what? This guy's got money, so let me try and get my hands on some of that money. Hell no, God, that feels gross to me. I don't want to be that kind of man. I don't want to be doing business with that kind of man.
Yeah, for sure. It's lots of business owners, they get scared of sales because that's all they think of because they've been sold to that way and themselves, exactly. It's interesting. So part of that too is the leads that you get to make the sales too as well. So is there like I know you like with the example that you have with the woman with the sexy program, get your sexy back kind of thing.
Sexy back. Yeah.
So she niched down. She did this, demographics, psychographics, all that kind of stuff, and is that when you do your marketing, do you just put 100% of focus on that ideal client, and just like
that's right. I mean, that's certainly been what's worked for us and for our clients. You try to be all things to all people, you'll be nothing to nobody, but.
Right on. So just put on the blinders and just go for your people. You're my tribe. You're who I could help. And you know, here's what I got. I'd love to help you if you're interested, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Does that mean they have to be your tribe forever? No, you can switch tribes, you can switch offerings, but one at a time.
That's awesome. So as far as that, like, do you find that businesses are more successful if they have fewer offerings as opposed to like
obviously that depends on the business, right? If you're 3M or you know what I mean, you're GE, you could have lots of business units, right? But if you're a solopreneur or a small business, you want to streamline what you have to offer the marketplace, right? Like, I'm not saying you should have one program. If you're a coach, you can have multiple programs, but honestly, you need to start with one and you need to get it going to a certain level of success before you launch another one. I have multiple programs inside of my coaching business, right? And they range in price from a low of, you know, $3,000 to a high of $150,000. But they are aimed at helping the entrepreneur. That's who we work with.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. You know, so and you lead by example by having your own niche and your own, your thought leadership, you know, through the 650 episodes, the 2 different podcasts and your book and all these different things that a thought leader has, because there are certain assets that a thought leader should have, right?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, that definitely, that's awesome. Like is there like one big like takeaway, you know, that people should take from this episode?
Yes. Surround yourself with good people. And if you're feeling like you're not believing in yourself, if your self-belief is low, I'm here to remind you that you're an awesome child of God. You're a warrior and you're a badass. And maybe you just forgot for a while. And I'm here to remind you that's who you are, and live life that way. And if you need more help, jump on my calendar.
That's so awesome. That's awesome. So thank you for coming on the show, Nicky, sharing your insights with us. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you or follow you?
You can follow me anywhere at Nicky Billou. It's a unique name, NickYBillou. Just go on any social media channel and, you know, you'll pretty much find me. And if you're a business owner and you want to talk, and this is the time for you right now, you're thinking about next year, then jump on my calendar, eCircleacademy.com/appointment. That I'm really going to encourage you. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of that. You could use that. You need that, then do it. Don't wait. Don't think about it. Don't go, I'll do it later. Just as I'm telling you this right now, Nick, you know, eCircleacademy.com/appointment. Go on there, pick a time, jump on the calendar. Let's go.
Right on. That's awesome. Well, be sure to include your links in the show notes below the episode for the video, audio, etc. Okay, and thanks again for coming on the show. Okay, so that concludes this episode with our guest, Nicky Billou. This is Al Marenton with Podcast Marketing Secrets. I hope you have a successful day.